Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry, I was going to do this stream sooner and then I got lost in the land of Discord. I'm getting my Discord server set up for members. So, a new perk for members will be you can join my Discord server, but I have to actually get it all set up before I launch it. So, thank you for waiting. If you already watched my recap video from the episode from last night, that was done this morning. And this is going to be sort of a follow-up. I didn't want to have the 2 in 1 because it would have been way too long. So last night, while the episode was airing, in which the wives and Kody discussed the idea of moving into a single home, Meri, along with Kody and Janelle and Robin, were live tweeting with the show. And there was a point of the show when Kody, towards the very end of the episode, said that he knew the reason why the wives did not want to live in the same house because they didn't want to see him with another woman. So he made this claim based on Christine stating that she didn't want to necessarily see him leave with someone else. She wanted to have more privacy. She wanted to have more autonomy, which then he attributed to Christine being jealous. Meri, in the conversation, said that she didn't want to be around him because of the way where their actual marriage stood. So last season and into this season, Kody and Meri have no relationship at all whatsoever. Meri is like a distant friend that has a house that they sometimes see and talk to, but Kody doesn't stay with her. They don't go out on dates. They're not at all physical or intimate in any way, shape, or form. And he's been very clear to Meri that he doesn't have any interest. Now, Meri, for last season, despite all of this and the horribly terrible way that Kody has treated her, Meri still wants him. Somehow, some way. She has convinced herself that this is what she wants. And so she says that because she wants something different than what he does, she doesn't want to live near him because it would be too hard. So last night, after he made that claim on the show, she wrote, "I do have to say, I can't speak for all of us, but when Kody says all of us can't handle seeing him with another woman, he is so wrong and shouldn't be speaking for me." This is interesting, though. Now, this could be because this was a year ago. But earlier this season, Meri did say to her sister wives, because of the status of her relationship with Kody, it was not easy to be around the other wives and have their relationships right in front of her. Because when your relationship isn't going well, it can sort of feel like they're rubbing it in your face by having to be around it. But we're, again, a year removed from all of this, so we don't really have any idea where Meri feels today. Like, how does she feel today versus a year ago? Meri could theoretically be over it at this point in time. And based on the fact that Meri is constantly traveling, always out with friends, and hasn't posted a photo of Kody in over a year on her Instagram, I'm starting to think that Meri's feelings for Kody are probably on par with Kody's feelings for Meri, if that makes sense. We're going to see coming up in the next few episodes, the two of them go toe-to-toe in therapy. But at the time, he was assuming it was related to jealousy. And Meri last night said, "You are so wrong and you shouldn't be speaking for me," which then got Kody to respond, "Okay, sorry that I generalized," in quotes. Like, how patronizing, right? It is true that I sometimes accuse them of all doing something that is usually one wife only. Sister wives. It is true that I sometimes accuse them of all doing something. Kody's favorite thing to do with his wives is to pit them against each other and to lump them into a bunch and then put them all down. He's the same man that said that he wasn't, when he first met Robin, she looked like a soccer mom that drove a minivan, and he didn't want to have a minivan or a soccer mom. He claimed that Christine was repulsive to him and he wasn't remotely attracted to her. He described her eating nachos, which visibly made him feel ill, and that It took him a very long time to feel any level of attraction to her. In the past few years, he's also made those same statements to her about not being attracted to her anymore. She has lost a ton of weight recently, which has had a lot of people thinking that she may have done that because the more weight, like he seems to prefer them a little bit more slender, like Robin used to be. Robin has also had multiple babies, so we can't like put it on her, but she's not like the 30-year-old we met 10 years ago, okay? So he's like yelling at Christine, but then he like lumps them all together. So he's admitting that he does this, right? But this dude was on a roll last night. He was so, oh God, so this person said this. So Kody was getting attacked all night last night on Twitter. So, and then he was like retweeting what they were saying and responding. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. And he said, I'm still wondering why you impulsively herded everyone from one neighborhood, took on 8 house payments, and then dumped the one house idea on everyone once you finally got there. Erratic doesn't even begin to describe it, Kody. I agree. That's like literally the most erratic behavior. And he goes, are you even paying attention to years of nuance? We were never going to stay in Vegas. I just thought we would move back to Utah. It wasn't impulsive, maybe just a bit desperate. Here's the thing. They left Flagstaff within 5 years of building their houses. And they had 5-year balloons through lenders that they had to get out of. And so there was literally no option but to leave. So whether he was going to leave to Flagstaff or Utah is irrelevant. The reason why they left is not why he's claiming. He has said repeatedly that Vegas was never felt like it was going to be his long-term solution. But the timing of it, the way they want to position it was like, oh, the oldest kids could have 2 more years in high school. Do you know how crappy that is for a kid to start their junior year in another high school? They will graduate barely knowing anyone. They won't have the same kind of friendships. So there's really no like we all had to have them so they could have their junior year here. No, the best time to change a child, if you're going to, is when they start high school, not in the middle of high school. But, logic is lost on Kody. And then this person said, when this show first started, one of the wives said, I didn't just want the man, I wanted the family. So now they just want the family. They don't want the family, just the man. And I didn't actually hear anyone saying this. The only person that I heard saying that I didn't hear a single one of them say they didn't want the family. Christine said she wanted the autonomy and confidence she got by living by herself and not having to play housemaid and lady slave to Janelle and Meri, because let's be honest, when they all lived in Utah, she was childcare for all of the kids. She was doing all of the homeschooling. She was doing all of the cooking and carting all of the kids around. And Meri and Janelle basically just got to do whatever they wanted. They worked. So that's what I heard from Christine being like, I don't want to go back to that. Janelle wanted to do it, so I don't think that that's even accurate. And then Meri just doesn't want to be around Kody's douchebag butt. So... And he says, we are hitting the midlife crisis age. Attitudes change at mid-age. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm middle-aged and my attitudes haven't changed. I still believe in a monogamous relationship. I think with Christine, what happened was that Robin entered the family and the dynamics of the family shifted dramatically. She was pregnant when he was courting Robin. She delivered her baby while he was googly-eyed about Robin and could barely sit still and contain himself about bringing Robin into the family. While she delivers truly, he's barely there. He barely makes it. And then within days of her being born, he's marrying Robin and then going on a honeymoon, which Christine never got. Christine never had a honeymoon with him. She never had a large wedding reception. So he was basically like spoiling Robin rotten, and then Christine got none of it. And I can see why Christine would have been irritated, right? So I think Christine through the show has just grown and progressed and learned and had confidence by living by herself. But not only that, like she's been awarded this platform through the show that I think she just has a broader sense of self away from Kody, not just with Kody, if that makes sense. And then someone else said, this episode of Sister Wives is making my head want to explode, and I'm not even part of the family. Cannot imagine how stressful this whole house situation has been for you guys. And he said, I think that every one of my wives thought that their head would explode with this discussion. I knew it too. He is really bad at grammar. I noticed when he spells knew, he meant K-N-E-W. He also does and he meant T-H-E-I-R, and he spelled it T-H-E-R-E. I found so many grammatical errors in his tweets, and I was just going nuts. I know people make mistakes, but I saw like the same mistakes in a lot of his tweets. That's just me. I was so blah in my presentation. So he knew that they were going to be mad at him, so he just didn't sell it. Good job. It feels like you're not really accepting plural marriage if you're not willing to live together as one family. And he said, also, an argument my wives have used, you and your mother are one family. Why don't you live with your mother? He loves to like publicly humiliate them. I just can't imagine my husband speaking about me like this to millions of people. It floors me. To be fair, my wives, or some of them, that one home equal one family is a nasty old dogma. My wives are progressive and forward-thinking women. No, they're not. Kody Brown, let me tell you something. If your wives were progressive and forward-thinking women, they would not be in this situation. They would not be married. Because let's be honest, you guys aren't married. You're not married. You are not married. You are only legally married to Robin. The rest of these women are essentially mistresses that you have children with because they don't get the same legal benefits as a wife. They don't have any legal recognition as a wife. They are when they file their taxes, these women file as single head of household. You're not on them. The only thing you might do jointly is buy property together, but you are outside of being a baby daddy, you are not a husband to any of these women besides Robin. Like, this is the part that drives me nuts about this. Anyways, and then when someone actually told him that he was being manipulative to his wives, he said, I'm not smart enough to be that manipulative. Only persuasion. If we don't go with my idea, any other's pitch was better. Our family was constantly selling each other. He says he's not smart enough to be manipulative. That's literally all he does. He's like the biggest narcissist in the entire world. Kody Brown, all he does is manipulate his wives by gaslighting them, by pitting them against each other, by publicly humiliating them. He manipulates them constantly. I don't know where he actually comes out with any of this. My wives commit inception on me all the time. That's when they were saying that like Kody will go into the brain of whoever he's with and talk to the wives as though one of them spoke to them. And so then they were saying, I see both sides of this. I remember how sad Christine was back in the day when she wasn't queen of her domain. But man, the beauty of having everyone under one roof, I would love that. So many things to consider. Okay, first of all, Christine, did you watch the first season? She was drinking the Kool-Aid. She loved it. She was like, at the end of the very first season, Christine literally said, in the future, I just see us all living in one big house and having a wonderful family forever. That's how Christine was. She loved doing it because at the time, she didn't know anything else. It was branching out that allowed her to experience life outside of that made her realize she was worth more than that. So I actually disagree with this person. So many pros and cons, very difficult decision, much to consider, mostly each wife's individual views. For now, I just want to be sure that they are open-minded. They're not. Christine's not open-minded. So, Meri got feisty with, now Robin chimed in as well. So Robin, for her part, she was all, I think it's interesting that Kody is talking about how the one home is the ideal for men who have plural families. Is it the ideal for wives, or is it each family and what works for each family? The way that this family is set up is they're not one family. They can try to tell us this all day long. They can try to sell this to us all day long on TV, but they're not. He has 4 houses. He has 4 different women that he goes to, except he doesn't hang out with Meri. So he has 3, and he barely has a relationship with Janelle. So he maybe has 2 that he's hokey pokeying it with. With that being said, so what? He has 4 lives? No, you don't have one family. Your kids don't even know each other, Robin. You admitted that last night. Hearing what everyone thought about the living situation in Vegas was hard for me. I don't know what to do with what everyone was saying. Because she was upset that the family wasn't one unit. You will never convince me that Robin ever wanted more than what she has. Robin would not. Robin's the kind of person that said she wanted plural marriages, but she didn't, because she came from a monogamous relationship. And she's like been the favorite of Kody for 10 years, and she loves it. I don't think it is fair that so much pressure was put on Christine for how she feels about one home. She's being honest and brave. I agree with her on that. I do feel like there was a lot of unnecessary pressure on Christine around that. And she said, I've never lived in one home with my sister wives, so I don't really know what does work or what doesn't. All I know is the stories from sister wives and from other plural wives in families. I have to admit that it is pretty fun sometimes teasing Kody with my sister wives, and if it was safe emotionally, I would have liked to ask all the hard questions about why it did work or why it didn't work, or when my family did live in one home. I am sitting here like, I don't really think they ever really integrated Robin into the family. As much as they say she's there, Kody integrated with her, but I don't think the sister wives ever integrated with her. I know that at one point, Meri and Robin were friendly, but I don't think they are anymore. And Meri and the rest of the sister wives certainly fake that they like each other on TV, but I don't think they even like each other. Again, this all begs the question, if you don't like each other on the planet that you're on, why are you going to like each other in heaven? Now, an interesting thing that one of my subscribers said was that they thought that maybe Kody is just waiting for Christine, Meri, and Janelle all just to leave, and then he can just have this one house idea with a brand new set of wives. Who knows? Kody still wants more kids, and 3 of the ladies can't give him that anymore at this point in their lives, or don't want to, based on either their age or their body's just physical health. So I think it's awesome that Meri stood up for him. I'm eager to see if we're ever going to find out what's going on in this relationship, if we ever can get past the storyline of the one house. We are 7 episodes in, and we have talked about nothing else than this stupid house for 7 weeks. So, what are your thoughts? Is Meri not letting Kody have any not giving him any time up there anymore? Does she not like him anymore? Someone told me that there were rumors in Flagstaff that she might be walking around or quietly seeing someone else. Now, that's all not confirmed, but I guess I wouldn't be surprised. I just wonder at what point she just throws all of this crap to the wind and realizes she's in a organization that's selling her a bunch of lies in the lifestyle that she's been raised in, and that she won't actually, the bad things that they tell her that will happen if she leaves will not happen, and she could probably find a lot more happiness in their separate lives. All of them at this point are miserable. And Amelia, the family source that I spoke to, said that no one that lives in this lifestyle is happy ever. With that being said, wouldn't it just be nice, since they're all middle-aged, that they just move on with their lives and seek happiness elsewhere? Kody's already an absentee father and basically a deadbeat dad, so the wives would be better off without him. All right, you guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Are you Team Meri, Team Christine, or just Team kick Kody to the curb? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.